Hello, thank you for joining me today and taking part in my emotional intelligence course. Today, we're going to talk about what is the difference between IQ, intellectual quotient, and EQ, which is emotional quotient. So, EQ, you've heard the term EQ, emotional quotient, or some people call it, and I will too, EI, which is emotional intelligence. Same thing, exact same thing. So just a little definition. So first thing I'm going to do is talk about what is the definition of each one of those. And emotional intelligence involves skills like empathy, self awareness, social skills, which are essential for effective communication and relationship building. Whereas IQ is more focused on logical reasoning and analytical thinking. IQ can help you excel in academic settings. Emotional intelligence is crucial for navigating social interactions and managing stress. And the other thing is IQ is set by the time you're 17. Interesting fact. Whereas EQ or EI can be developed over the years, depending on how you want to work with different aspects of your emotional intelligence. So you would have gotten an assessment by now. And if you take a look at that, you'll see the different areas that you're strong in and some areas that you're not as strong in. And you can work on those areas to improve them. My lessons after this talk about each of those areas and then how to improve them. Um, so the components of each are IQ measures logical reasoning, mathematical skills, verbal abilities, whereas EQ or EI measures self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. So the measurement of each is IQ is measured through standardized tests that evaluate various aspects of intelligence, where EQ is assessed through tests or assessments like you got that measure interpersonal and intrapersonal skills. And this is a concept that I realized a long time ago that's very important in a business setting and also in a personal setting. I'm going to talk a little bit about it from a business setting. And, uh, you know, EQ or EI is important when you want to be create a team that works well together and understands each other. So if you have team members that are high in emotional intelligence, they're going to be more self-aware of other people and how their emotions and things affect other people, and more aware of self-aware and aware of others, and then how to manage the stress that comes with a job, and how to manage the emotions of other people and that interpersonal reaction. And so we had when I owned my business, we used to do emotional intelligence assessments. We wouldn't hire and fire by those by any means, but it was really important that someone be able to fit on the team. And if they didn't, we need to understand why they didn't, which is fascinating to me. So we had a team member who was great, very high IQ, very good at the job, could definitely do the job, but was very low. So we had hired her before we were doing emotional intelligence assessments and couldn't quite figure out some things about her interactions with the rest of the team. And then we did emotional intelligence assessments on everyone and looked at hers and went, aha, There was a lot of things that she was really low in that limited her in being a good team player. Part of the challenge with that also is that she was not approachable about this. So it wasn't like we could say, well, look at this assessment and here's where you're weak. And, to better fit into the team, you need to, we'll help you, improve these things. Her emotional intelligence was so low that you couldn't even do that. And you know had a lot of issues with her with customers and with fitting into the team, so that was tough because she did the job well, but that interpersonal was a challenge. We had another person on the team that again, great experience, great person, and he had a challenge with impulse control. So anything which goes along with self-expression and the whole thing, and couldn't really figure out why, he was the way he was, and did a emotional intelligence assessment, and showed him the assessment and said, here's the reason, we want to promote you to a manager, but here's the reason you will not get that promotion. You need to work on that. Well, he was just like blown away and was like, oh my gosh, all my life people have been talking to me about this, but no one ever put a word to it, and no one was ever really willing to help him with it. So got a coach and to show him how to improve that, and he was willing to do that. So that's a part of emotional intelligence also. And so again, another example, I had somebody on the team that was low on emotional intelligence, and he knew it, and but then he was put into a management role, and I thought, oof, cross your fingers, because he was great. And he stepped up. He realized what he needed to do, and he stepped up and said, okay, I'm going to improve these areas so that I can be a better team member here. And so that was an improvement. So again, going back to that, emotional quotient and more emotional intelligence can be improved. I've seen it. I've seen it work. I've seen it not work. IQ is set by the time you're 17. So you cannot study more, read more, whatever, to increase your IQ. It is what it is. And I had somebody the other day tell me that they're going to transition out of their business. And the person who's buying their business is probably in their late 20s, I guess. And very, he had been there at the business for about 10 years. So he knew the business. And he said to me, he goes, well, we did an IQ test and he really has good IQ. And I thought, okay. So then I started asking him questions about how he was with the team and in this and that. Well, it's like, yeah, he has real high IQ and he can do the job, but he's going to own this company. But I'm going to suspect that he has low emotional intelligence. I mean, I can almost, from the questions and what he was telling me, is that's going to be a problem. So we're trying to work on that now to see what that is. So, it was interesting because he's like, oh yeah, he's great. He's been here 10 years, yada, yada, yada. And his IQ, we did an IQ test and it was really high. And I'm thinking, that's great. That's great. But can he manage a team? If he's going to own this business, can he manage a team? And so I think that's a really big part of it. And also, I'm talking about it on a work level, but in your personal life, also emotional intelligence comes into play there. So, you probably know people that now that, you're taking this course, you're like, oh, they're low on this or they're low on that. And, but you can't say it to your friends. You can't say, here's an assessment, take this. I'd like to, but, I know enough about it that I can kind of pinpoint where people are. So, but that's the reason when you see people's behavior and think, why in the world do they do that? Well, it probably comes back to their emotional intelligence. If you look at that assessment and look at all the information on there, you're going to be able to look at your friend and say, oh yeah, they fit here, they fit here, easily. So anyway, that is the difference between IQ, and EQ or EI, and why it's important to look at someone's EQ, EI scores, as well as make sure that they fit with the IQ and being able to technically do the job and have good cognitive abilities and reason problem solving, that type of thing. So it's two different things there. So I hope this cleared things up for you, because I had people ask me about it all the time. So hopefully this has made it clear, and then you'll see in the next lessons more in detail about that. So I'll see you on the next lessons. Thanks.